Your town, your station, your voice. Afternoons on Calon FM. Listen online at calon.fm.
It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show. It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show. It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show. It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show.
Right, let's do it, shall we? Whoa, hang on, 2 minutes. It's far too early for that kind of thing, right? And there's a lot more to Slade than that one song, and we're going to hear all about it when we speak to the legendary Dave Hill next. Slade, without doubt, one of the most exciting bands to come out of Great Britain in the past 50 years. With their unique blend of perfect pop rock and roll, outrageous flamboyance and pure fun, and no less than 23, count them, 23 top 20 singles, of which 6 were number 1 smash hits, plus 6 smash hit albums just for good measure. Slade have become a firm favourite in the hearts of pop fans all over the world, and this year they are back on the road for their annual Together at Christmas UK tour, and I'm so pleased to say that I am joined on the line by the legendary Slade guitarist Mr. Dave Hill. And Dave, the last time we spoke, I think it was back in 2018. It feels like it feels such a long time ago now, back in the time when the world felt so much simpler back then, right? How have you been? How have you coped? How did you cope with lockdown? All right?
Well, obviously, you reached the point when I was in Denmark, and it was around about the time when COVID started to escalate, and I remember that we were doing 2 shows in Denmark, and then suddenly the second show got blown out the window. So I think I started to see signs of what was going to happen. Then we came back to England, and we ended up doing a Brooklyn show, and that was it. And It was just like, suddenly you couldn't do anything. You were out of work, basically, and isolated bit by bit. You know what that year was like, don't you?
Yeah.
Constant, daily messages, and the only way it was a funny feeling, to be honest with you, Andy. It was a combination where I was thinking, nobody's ringing you because there's nothing to do, and I've never been in that position before. And it was almost like, well, how am I going to cope with this? Parts of me actually thought there's no demand, and that seemed quite nice for a while.
Yeah.
But that wore off, of course, and I decided, because it was fairly important to me, and I hadn't had this sort of time, that I'd concentrate on writing 1 or 2 albums, which I did do. And I've got a little studio at home, and to be honest with you, that's probably the best decision I made. And I was working with someone who helped me do my life story, and I thought, well, he's the right person to get an opinion of. So I started writing daily, and I just carried on doing that for absolutely ages, because I couldn't really go anywhere. But at least it was occupying my mind, albeit not realising what it would be like 1 or 2 years later. So all the work got cancelled, and it was kind of trying to redirect it, and then it got cancelled again. And so I've spent most of this year actually honouring work which was booked 2 years ago, to be honest with you. So I think I did cope well. I found it rather strange when I went back. I'd missed it greatly, but all of a sudden it was like, oh, we're here. But nothing was quite the same,
Yeah.
And it didn't feel normal, just it was new normal. So, as I say, I think doing what I did really helped me. I think most musicians have to adjust to coming back again when you've had 2 years off. It's really, I never had any time off before.
Well, I thought I'm the same as you. I was fine in the lockdown. I almost weirdly I kind of enjoyed it a little bit. But
Yes, I understand that.
so when we actually got back to work, that's when I got a little bit tetchy, and I was thinking, oh hello, I'm not sure about this. But you had to almost like train yourself to know what it felt like to go outside again.
Well, that's so true, Andy. I mean, you were always in fear of anybody else, weren't you? You know, we weren't seeing the grandkids, and we weren't, you know, if they ever come round the house, they had to go down. We got a bit of a field anyway, so we could meet them down there. So we were doing all of not normal things, really. So you got this thing, you know, you went for a walk, and then you cross over the road when somebody's coming your way.
Yeah.
Like that. So you removed yourself from the normality.
I think the unreliability thing is something that we kind of got used to, because before, I don't ever remember anything. There was certainly no shows were cancelled. If you buy a ticket for something now, the party is thinking, I wonder if this will go on.
Yeah.
It's a bit odd.
I think a lot of gigs that were booked, we thought, oh, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And in some cases, that was true. And yet, in some cases, they did go ahead, and that's what it's really been like.
Yeah. But you're back now. Everything seems to be, you know, fingers crossed, touch wood, everything seems to be all right again.
Right.
And, I mean, Slade, I read today, I find this incredible. The music of Slade's been around for the best part of 60 years now. Are you surprised by that statistic, I wonder?
Yes, well, I don't think anybody would have thought of that when we were young, you know.
Yeah.
It was always like, give them a few years and it'll all be over.
Yeah.
Nobody's thinking about the legacy. Nobody's thinking about, you know, things lasting. Nostalgia wasn't really that well known at that time, you know.
Yeah.
We didn't see nostalgia until the 70s, when there was nostalgia with the Beatles. Of course, we didn't know what nostalgia was, you know. But then you suddenly realise, oh yes, it's the records I bought when I was a kid, you know.
Yeah.
And you get nostalgic about it, you know, because those are some of the wonderful days of your life, I suppose. But as I say, things have moved on. Not quite normal, but hopefully I shall be enjoying this UK tour, you know, and obviously coming to Cardiff and places like that.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant, you know. I like Wales anyway.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourites. Swansea and the Mumbles and all those places.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. Oh, you can't. Everyone's got to have a little bit of Wales at some point. But I think. Yeah. Sorry. I think bands now starting out, I think they'd be that their aim is mainly, you know, maybe get a single or an album, or just being in the charts would almost be good enough. But they don't seem to aim as high these days, or it doesn't seem to be the case.
No, no, they don't aim for the same thing. I don't know whether it's the way the music is streamed and stuff, sorts of things are happening, that sometimes some people seem to, I don't know, want to make it quick and make as much and get out. I don't know. The longevity of groups is not quite the same now. You just said, you know, how long our music has lasted. You know, having a legacy almost creates your own future with the music that was produced, and the great records, and the image, of course, obviously. You know, there was a great fondness towards Slade and the image of the band as well, and the kind of group we were. We worked hard for it, and it took a long time to make it, because we built up slowly from a young band who was playing covers, like every other band did, to eventually writing your own material and becoming successful.
Uh-huh.
I mean, not one of us would know the journey we would go on. The guitar I had was when I was 13, led to me turning professional when I was 18, which led me into a situation where I'd be travelling.
Yeah.
I have done it ever since I was 18.
When I see things like, Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen film, and Queen were almost portrayed as they knew they were destined for greatness, and you think, I wonder if that is just in hindsight looking back.
Yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, destined, or I understand what you're saying. Yeah, You know, you just don't really know exactly how everything's going to work out.
Yeah. I mean, I was lucky enough to see you in concert in 2018 when you visited North Wales. You came to Wrexham in 2018, and
Wrexham, yeah.
I was so I was blown away, absolutely blown away, because I don't know what I was thinking. I think I might have been expecting it to be all a bit like we'll call it that Christmas song for now, because we'll talk about it in a minute. But it's a full-on rock show, isn't it? I mean, it's backs against the wall job.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, we're a very active band. We bring to the public what we've always known and our understanding of the melodies, and it isn't just about the Christmas song. I mean, Slade's for life, not just for Christmas. And to be honest with you, that's a true line.
Yeah.
I mean, once you start to sit down and really listen to how many hits we have, but also how many great B-sides and albums we have.
Yeah.
Immensity of amount of material and a lot of experience and a lot of ups and downs in our lives, even through success, you know. But I think somehow, in a sense, I remember Noel Gallagher saying to me once, there was a compilation of all the great stuff, and it actually went to number 8 in the charts. I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And Noel Gallagher said it was great then and it's still great now, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah. 100%.
It was great then, it's still great now, you know. That's the same as the Beatles, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think as well, because Oasis covered you, didn't they?
Yes, they did, yes.
Come on, Feel the Noise.
I'm fully aware of that, and of course I know Noel is a fan, you know, and he quoted a line from my book, you know. I just asked him to write some of his experiences, and he just mentioned it's as simple as this: no Slade. There wouldn't be an Oasis without Slade. So I thought that was really interesting.
Well, it is, and I think a lot of people would actually agree with that compliment. Yeah. But I mean, I know you toured with Status Quo in the early '70s in Australia, and it was almost like a two-hander. I know they supported you, but it wouldn't have mattered which way around it was, because that would be two bands that would be awesome to see on the same bill.
Yes, well, it was awesome actually, and the Quo coming back from having hits before, Matchstick Man and things like that, and they were coming back to wear jeans and things like that. I mean, we had to be the main band because we had the top 1, 2, 3 records in the charts.
Yeah.
Massive album, and it was all really happening when we went there. We didn't know what to expect, you know. We'd never been to Australia, but it was phenomenally successful. You know, big race courses and things like that.
Yeah.
We were playing. It was really great.
Well, I've just been looking at some of your old footage on YouTube, and it's like Glastonbury everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. If you're kissing it. Yeah.
Incredible.
Made some naked gigs over the years, including America as well, sometimes, you know.
Yeah. But you just mentioned Status Quo's image there, and I want to talk to you about your image, if that's all right, because I think you were as famous for your image as the music, almost.
Yeah, I think well, that's true. I think the image and the music goes hand in hand, you know. One requires the other in every occasion, you know. I mean, sometimes it's like you can mix a record, and if the song isn't great, it doesn't matter how good the mix is, it'll never be great.
Yeah.
And then again, you can have a great song, and even if it's mucked up in the mix, somehow it's still a great song. And I think with Slade, you always needed to have the entity of the music to give you that groundbreaking thing which you can promote. And I think one relies on the other to actually become successful. So you need, it's not that you can see anybody on radio, but you can hear them. But with Top of the Pops, what you can do is you can see them as well as hear them, and therefore the image will then basically give it the strength and the ability, like any great performers, they come across well on stage and they come across well on TV, and we had that, and we especially myself and Noddy, obviously wore top hats and things. I always concentrated on the image that I'd portray, and I'd obviously studied Top of the Pops for know, how things came across. You know, because we were on there week after week.
Yeah.
You have to keep changing your costumes. And obviously, as you probably well know,
Yeah.
I had some very bizarre costumes.
But you look back on over the history of Slade, and you started off with long hair, then you had skinheads, then you went to the glam rock movement, which you kind of spearheaded. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You think I mean, did you have anybody giving you any advice? Because I mean, did you come up with all the ideas yourself?
Well, I don't think I've listened to them. Yes, it's the fun. People said you might need some advice with what you say. I mean, it's just a funny line. Sometimes I experimented and tried things, and I didn't have any fear from it, even if I was going to be laughed at. That I had a kind of feeling towards something, so I was quite driven with it. And the only, you know, apart from the bizarre costumes, and one in particular was, you probably know the story, was I thought I'd got an Egyptian outfit on, and somebody called me a metal nun. And then I got on top of the fox, and it was just dramatic, this costume. But after that, I did employ a married couple in Birmingham who were clothes designers, and they were putting together ideas that I had in myself, and I'd go and see them, and they'd create the images as well with me. So the super yacht, the broad shoulders, and just a total outfit. I had some really great outfits with them. And the boots and all those things was me going into Kensington Market and working with a guy down there who could make several platforms. He said, I'll make you half a foot higher if you want to today, you know. It was really like that with the platforms, because I felt tall, you know.
Yeah.
People thought I was tall, you see. But it always made you look slimmer too, you know, the height of it.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
But I better talk to you about that Christmas song. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
It's the biggest Christmas song ever. And it came across almost by accident. Is that right?
Yes, of course. It's obviously there was a thing about nobody writing Christmas songs, and it was mentioned to our bass player, because most Christmas records were very carols and Bing Crosby and all sorts of stuff, weren't they? You know, there was no rock Christmas songs at all. Nobody would write them. And it was purely an idea. It was a combination of the melody Nod had got, and Jim had got an idea that formulated something. And basically, I think the lyrics was then written. And then it was forgotten about for a while. But we were in America. Chaz, our manager, said, there was some free time at this studio. He said, why don't we go in and put that Christmas song in? And it was like August, you know, and it was 100 degrees outside, so you certainly weren't feeling like the snow was coming down or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know the song at the time until I got in the studio, and then we learnt it, and then we put our bits and bobs to it. And we had to kind of create this atmosphere. But what we did avoid, and we was doing anything a cliche, you know, like bells, and, you know, like a lot of people do, you know, we must put bells on this, and, you know, we didn't need any of that. This song was written about people and what they do. So we put it down, and we were singing in the foyer, and these Americans came in, because it was an office block, and started going, my God, what are these people doing? They said, singing Merry Christmas, it's August, it's 100 degrees, man. You know, what are you doing? They said, oh, we're making a Christmas record. I said, well, make it at Christmas. No, we got to do it now. And no, we got to do it now. And they were going, where you come from? You sound English. Yeah, we are. Oh, that explains everything. That explains everything.
But I mean, literally though, it's. I think the wonderful thing about it, as you say, it's not all bells and Santa sound effects or anything. It's the story of it, and I think it resonates with a lot of people because that's what it's all about: families coming together at Christmas and people coming around, and that's basically what everybody experiences.
It is the stocking, the granny twisting, the old songs are better, and then she's twisting with the rest, the concept. And it's so much like that. And I think also, when it actually reached the ears of Radio 1 and Top of the Pops had got a look into, the reaction was phenomenal. And you probably know anyway, it was a rough time in Britain, a bit like now, in the 70s, 73.
Yeah.
With the power cuts and things. And I think the record, albeit we didn't know it would make one, but my God, didn't it move?
Yeah.
And it just flabbergasted us. I remember the manager saying it was selling 250,000 records a day, and they were running out in it, and they had to import them from Germany to keep the stock up.
Incredible.
Difficult, isn't it? But no one could ever figure in their imagination that we'd be talking about it now, or indeed the amount of times it's recharted, and it's almost like part of British life, isn't it? Like an inspired Christmas or something, I don't know. You become part of something that is all like Christmas isn't Christmas without that record. And I mean, we didn't invent Christmas, but we've got a big part in people's memories of.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you, I think for decades to come, it'll still be there because there's no Christmas without Slade's Christmas song. And when it, as you say, when it first became a hit. And I read today actually, and as you say, we were very much in the position that we're in now. There's threats of blackouts and the recession, and it just lifts everybody. It's amazing, really, what music can do, really.
It is, and I think your love for music, and all of us have had their loves for music and certain groups and certain bands and memories and things like that. The girl you fall in love with, or you get married, or something like that.
Yeah.
There's always melodies. There was always melodies at the youth centre. I remember, you're trying to learn to dance with a girl, and there's some American record on. I can remember the Empathy Clubs and all that,
Yeah.
But I think in your mind, the amount of music that I accumulated over the years is quite vast. And it also, there's some classical music in there as well. Even Strauss and Beethoven, but Dad played that a lot. It's a lot to do with memories, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you this story, but this guy gets out of this posh BMW, and he comes towards me, and I thought, oh, it's an autograph hunter, or he's going to flog me a life policy or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He come up, he said, I just want to say one thing to you. I thought, oh, here it comes. Thanks for making my youth great.
Yeah.
And I said, gosh, that's a really nice thing to say to me. I said, but that made a difference to him.
Yeah.
Even though he was older now and he was probably quite successful, he related to something that was the best time of his life.
Do you think is Merry Christmas Everybody, is it a predominantly British thing, or is it a massive hit everywhere?
Well, it wasn't a success in America. I don't think they could quite get it together, with singing about Christmas, because America's a different ball game. But I can honestly say anywhere else in the world, that was a huge record, really huge.
I mean, so much so, it gives you the opportunity to do a Christmas tour every year, and as you say, you're back on the road, it's all happening again, it's fantastic.
Almost to the point that you can do a Christmas tour to give an opportunity for everybody to hear all the other great records that we made and remember them as well, because a lot of them, like Far, Far Away, Goodbye to Jane, Mama, Noise, all those records.
Yeah.
Most of them I've got in the show, including the 80s hits too, that we had. We had good success in the 80s as well. My Oh My and Run, Run Away. So I think people Certainly we won't be doing a really long show, but you can bet your bottom dollar that they'll know everyone I play.
Well, I thought that, because I thought, I came away, and normally there's one song where you think, oh, I might nip to the toilet now, but with your show, it was one classic after another. It's a great night out.
Nip to the toilet. It's a bit like the drum solo, you know. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, everyone's got their little quirks during a concert, I'm sure. Hey, let me ask you this before we go, because I'm a Celebrity's just kicked off. Is this something that you might fancy doing at some point?
Well, I've been asked to do it, actually. To be honest with you, I don't think I want to put myself through it, you know. It was just like, I mean, not everybody comes across well on a thing like that, and it can actually be a bit difficult, you know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be fond of crawling in tunnels with spiders and bugs all over me, you know.
Yeah.
I think I draw the line. Danny Blackburn did it, and I think Mike Reid did it as well. And he said, Mike Reid says to me, he says, if you do it, Dave, he says, make sure you've either got a record coming out. I thought, Mike Reid is quite funny anyway. And he was quite good in it, because he was doing quizzes and things like that. But I don't know, it's a different setup now. But I usually, I mean, it is amusing for some, but I certainly wouldn't want to be standing on horrendously tall buildings, walking on planks. Yeah. I think, you know, although you're not going to get hurt, I suppose.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that, Dave. You don't have those nasty bugs in your mouth.
Yeah, definitely. Do Strictly instead. That seems a lot easier.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think I'd fancy starving, that's for sure. But it might be different when you're really young, you know. But I think I'd be a little more considerate to what it would be like, you know. I mean, it's all part of reality shows, isn't it? You know, it's all part of that. Yeah. The thing, you know. You know, you got Andex down in a nice fancy hotel. They all arrive, don't they, in style, and they all, you know, crawling through cupboards and pubs. And
yeah.
Some come over well, though.
So that I'll take that as a no then, right?
Yeah, that was a definite. I was a bit long-winded answer, but no.
Hey, listen, Dave, it's been an absolute treat to speak to you again. Thanks ever so much for that. I really appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure to talk to you, my friend, and thanks a lot, Andy. So, until the next time, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing us in Cardiff and various other places that we're playing. So, as I say, we're doing 6 dates, and they're selling really well. So, as I say, I like Cardiff anyway.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to that.
Fantastic.
And thanks a lot for the interview, my friend. And I hope you have a nice Christmas too.
All the best to you, yeah.
And put the money in the meter. Or make your own money and put it in the meter.
Take care of yourself, Dave. Appreciate it. Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I believe.
So Slade are on the road this Christmas, the run-up to Christmas, with their Together at Christmas tour, playing the London Islington Assembly Hall on the 15th of December, then Cardiff Tramshed on the 17th, Norwich Waterfront on the 18th of December, the Engine Rooms in Southampton on the 20th, and then the Warehouse in Leeds on the 22nd of December. Go and see Slade in concert. You will not be disappointed. They are brilliant, brilliant. Always a pleasure to speak to Dave Hill. As I say, we had him on 2018. Seems a long time ago now. Anything pre-COVID seems a long time ago, right? Can't wait for the next time. Slade on the road again. This is the Stage and Screen Show with me, Andy Snowden, here on 105 Calon FM. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoons on Calon FM.
It's It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show. It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show. It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show. It's the Andy Snowden Radio Show.